I desired those same things, but I had a mother who was working all the time. In my opinion, she was addicted to alcohol. And so her going to the bar and the club was kind of her thing. And so me not knowing my father or having a relationship with a father, when my stepfather came, it was kind of like, okay, I have the father figure that I've been longing for. And I believe that he played on that. He saw my desire, he saw my need for that. And it was a way that he was able to kind of come into my world and offer something that I didn't have. And I believe that when I was around 8 was the first time that I was physically assaulted by him. And so that manipulation and that tactic caused me to be in silence. It caused me to fear. But when I saw my mother react to my cousin the way that she did, I was like, oh, so it is safe to tell her. I can tell my mom what happened. And when I was about 10 years old, we were riding home from the hospital where I had to go to get a rape kit. And I turned the music down and I said, Mom, I need to tell you something. The same thing that, my cousin, which I won't name, was doing to me, my stepdad is doing the same thing. And she didn't say a word. She was silent. We rolled home the rest of the way, and it was like pitch silence. And there was things that I wrote about in this book, because one thing that God told me was he's going to use me to break generational curses in my family, right? He said that he showed me that the bondage and the generational curses that I was suffering from, it didn't start with me, but it can stop with me. So when I was writing my book about my story, he said, you can't tell your story without telling your mother's, because you have to be able to show the generational comparison. And I was riding down the street to the gym and I said, well, God, why is she doing this? Like, I can't get her to tell me the story and I can't write the book because I'm at a standstill because I need to know certain parts. And he said, do you want to know why she won't tell you her story? And I said, why? And he said, because she's afraid of how you might view her. Your mother is afraid to tell her truth because of how she might be perceived. And I was like, okay, well, that makes sense. And God led me to call my mother, and he told me to tell her one specific thing, was that God was going to use even her past to not only change her life, but other women's as well. And that he's going to give her past purpose, but he cannot heal what she won't reveal. My mother sat down next to me and she closed her eyes and she began worshiping. And so in that moment, I began to pray for them, and God said, hug her now. Like, now I want you to hug her. So I go over, I give my mother a hug, and she literally had her phone and something else in her hand, and she drops it, and she stands up, and she just like embraced me so tight. And we stood there and we cried, and I think more was said in us hugging for about 25 to 30 minutes, and just both of us crying than could have been said in years of conversation.